What if I told you some of the toughest names in hip-hop aren't just battling the industry, pressure, or fame, but are fighting silent, life-changing health struggles behind the scenes, and most fans don't even realize it? We always hear about headlines involving legal issues, controversies, or career drama. But there's another reality that rarely gets attention. Artists dealing with serious medical conditions while still creating, performing, and staying at the top of their game. No cap, this is real life. Some of the biggest names in rap have faced health challenges that could have completely shifted their journeys. Take Boozy Badass. One of the most respected voices out of Baton Rouge was diagnosed with kidney cancer, a battle that tested him in ways the public barely saw. Or look at NBA Youngboy, one of the most streamed artists in the world, who openly addressed a personal health condition in his music without fear, showing a different kind of resilience. These aren't rumors or internet talk, these are real, documented situations that have impacted their lives deeply. We're talking about conditions like diabetes, epilepsy, and other serious illness-accessory life struggles that money, fame, and success can't simply erase. Behind the music, behind the fame, there are stories of strength, survival, and battles that deserve just as much attention as anything else in the spotlight. What if I told you the real battles in hip-hop aren't always the ones you see online, but the ones happening quietly, behind closed doors, where even fame can't make a difference? We constantly hear about rappers dealing with controversies, legal trouble, or public drama, but almost nobody talks about the artists who are facing serious health challenges while still trying to live, create, and stay strong. No cap, this side of the story is real, and it's often overlooked. Some of the biggest names in the game have gone through life-changing medical situations that could have completely altered their paths. Take Boozy Badass, a respected voice from Baton Rouge, who was diagnosed with kidney cancer, something far more serious than anything the headlines usually focus on. Or NBA Youngboy, one of the most streamed artists today, who openly spoke about a personal health condition in his music, showing a level of honesty and courage that not everyone can handle. These aren't rumors or social media stories, these are confirmed realities that have impacted their lives in major ways. We're talking about serious conditions like diabetes, epilepsy, and other long-term illness-accessory life struggles that money, success, and fame simply can't protect anyone from. Behind the success, behind the numbers, and behind the spotlight, there are real human stories of strength, endurance, and survival that deserve just as much attention as anything else in the culture. And Boozy told Sway straight up, "I just busted out crying." That moment alone showed a side of him people rarely get to see. Back in December 2015, surgeons removed nearly 30% of his kidney, a serious procedure that changed everything overnight. Just 3 weeks later, he was still too weak to even walk on his own, but instead of slowing down completely, he pushed himself into the studio in a wheelchair and started recording again. That mindset says everything about who he is. Fast forward to 2023. He went on Instagram and shared the news that he was officially cancer-free. In that same moment, he also paid respect to the doctor who helped save his life, revealing that the doctor had passed away. He remembered how, right before surgery, the doctor rubbed his head and told him, "God forgives." That message stuck with him in a deep way. And let's be real, kidney cancer is no small issue. It's one of the most common cancers affecting men. And on top of that, Boozy has also been managing diabetes every single day. The fact that he's still touring, still dropping music, still showing up, that's not just dedication. That's resilience on another level. He caught it early and fought through it, which makes his story even more powerful. But not every story plays out the same way. The next artist took a completely different approach. He didn't keep things private. He put them right into his music and let the world hear them directly. Now shifting to NBA Youngboy. Because in this era, no rapper has handled revealing a personal health situation quite like him. Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden, known to the world as Youngboy Never Broke Again. It also comes from Baton Rouge, the same city as Boozy, and he's built one of the most dedicated fan bases in modern hip-hop, with massive streaming numbers and a non-stop work ethic. His presence in the game is undeniable, but what really sets him apart is how unfiltered he is. He doesn't rely on PR moves or carefully crafted images. He speaks through his music, raw and direct. So when a snippet of one of his tracks surfaced back in 2018, fans immediately noticed a line that felt deeply personal. At first, People didn't fully understand what he meant or how serious it was, and it quickly became a major topic of conversation across the hip-hop community. At first, people didn't know how to take it. Was he speaking literally, or was it just a metaphor in the music? The confusion didn't last long, because his then girlfriend, Jania Jackson, went on Instagram and addressed it directly. She confirmed she was dealing with the same condition, and explained that YB speaking publicly about it showed he genuinely didn't care about outside opinions. Not long after that, another snippet surfaced, a track called Truth About Herpes, where he spoke more on the situation. That led to a back and forth online, with Jania responding and clarifying her side, saying she never intended to harm anyone, and only spoke from a place of emotion. Things got messy and conversations went public, but through all of it, NBA YoungBoy never backed away or tried to deny anything. Instead, he owned it completely. When fans asked him why he was so open about something so personal, he made it clear he didn't want anyone to use it against him. He took away the power before anyone else could. Even when people tried to joke about it during his Instagram lives, he didn't react with anger. He laughed it off, showing a level of confidence that's rare to see. The reality is, this condition is far more common than most people realize. Health organizations estimate that hundreds of millions of people worldwide live with it, and while there's no complete cure, many manage it with proper treatment and live normal lives. What made YB's situation stand out wasn't just the condition itself. It was a reaction from the culture. Hip-hop has always been built on image, reputation, and perception. So for one of the biggest artists of this era to speak openly about something so personal and still maintain his position says a lot. It shifted the conversation in a way people didn't expect. And real quick, if you're tapped into stories like this, make sure you stay locked in, because what's coming next goes even deeper. We're about to get into Eazy-E, Lil Wayne, and one of the most impactful health stories in hip-hop history. This next part didn't just affect music. It sent shockwaves far beyond it. Because when you talk about Eazy, you're talking about a figure who helped shape the entire culture. Born Eric Lynn Wright, he was a pioneer, a co-founder of NWA, and the driving force behind Ruthless Records. He played a major role in bringing Compton's voice to a global audience and helped launch the careers of legends like Dr. Dre and others. What happened next in his story wasn't just shocking. It was something that changed how the world looked at health, awareness, and the reality behind fame. Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, when NWA dropped Straight Outta Compton in 1988. Even the FBI was sending warning letters to their label. That's the level of influence they had. Eazy was still in his early 20s, already reshaping the sound and direction of American music. But everything changed in 1995. On February 24th, he was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, thinking he was dealing with something minor like bronchitis after experiencing a severe cough. What doctors discovered instead was far more serious. He had HIV, and it had already advanced to AIDS. On March 16, 1995, Eazy released a public statement confirming his condition. Just 10 days later, on March 26, he passed away at only 30 years old. That timeline shocked everyone, going from thinking it was a simple illness to losing his life within a month. The speed at which his health declined left even medical professionals surprised. There was no time to process it, no time to fully respond. It all happened incredibly fast. The impact on hip-hop was immediate and emotional. At that time, AIDS carried a heavy stigma, especially within communities where strength and image were everything. When the news broke, many people struggled to accept it. Rumors spread quickly, with some even creating alternative theories, because they couldn't believe the reality of the situation. Despite all the speculation, one thing is clear. Eazy's story brought awareness on a massive scale. After his public announcement, health organizations reported a significant rise in awareness and preventive measures among young people. His legacy didn't just shape music. It also sparked conversations that reached far beyond it. HIV testing among young people surged, and suddenly artists who had never spoken on the topic were stepping forward, encouraging others to get tested and be aware. One moment changed the mindset of an entire generation, forcing people to face something they had been avoiding for years. That kind of impact goes far beyond music. That's a real legacy. Eazy didn't even get the chance to fight his condition, but his story still created awareness that lives on today. But the next artist on this list is different. This is someone who has been dealing with a condition his entire life, and most people had no idea it was even happening. Now shifting to Lil Wayne, because his story hits in a completely different way. This isn't something he chose to reveal. The world found out because his body forced the truth into the spotlight. Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., better known as Lil Wayne, is widely considered one of the greatest to ever touch a microphone. Projects like the Carter 3 are classics, and his mixtape run in the mid-2000s remains one of the most dominant stretches in hip-hop history. Coming up from Holly Grove in New Orleans, his journey was never easy, and everything about his rise was built through pressure and persistence. Then in March 2013, things took a serious turn. Wayne was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles and ended up in the ICU for 6 straight days after experiencing multiple seizures back-to-back. During one of the most critical moments, his heart rate dropped to a dangerously low level, and those close to him were told the situation could have gone very differently. Fans were left worried until updates started coming in, including one from his daughter, Regina Carter, who reassured everyone that he was stable. When Wayne finally spoke publicly, he didn't hold anything back. In an interview with Power 106, he made it clear he has epilepsy and is prone to seizures. He explained that it wasn't the first time. It had happened many times before, just not in the public eye. According to him, what made that moment so intense was a combination of extreme stress, lack of rest, and pushing himself too hard without slowing down. On that third seizure, Lil Wayne's heart rate dropped to just 30%. He said straight up, "Basically, I could have died." But the story runs deeper. Wayne revealed he'd been experiencing seizures since childhood, though he didn't know what they were at the time. He remembered fainting spells as a kid, and when he spoke with his mother about it, they both realized his epilepsy had likely been there for years, just undiagnosed. He'd been living with this condition long before anyone knew. The severity of his epilepsy became undeniable in 2016 when he suffered multiple seizures mid-flight on a private jet from Milwaukee to California, forcing an emergency landing. Then in 2017, he was found unconscious in a Chicago hotel room, rushed to Northwestern Memorial, and had another seizure in the hospital. Doctors refused to discharge him, citing the risk of flying. Wayne's approach to all of this is remarkable. He neither hides it nor dramatizes it. When asked about the seriousness, he said, "I shot myself when I was 12. I grew up in Holly Grove. I've seen way worse." For Wayne, epilepsy is a challenge, not a barrier. Epilepsy affects about 1 to 2% of the population, and in severe cases like his, seizures can slow the heart to dangerous levels. There's no cure. Management depends on medication and lifestyle changes, especially reducing stress and ensuring rest, both nearly impossible for someone living the life of one of the world's most famous rappers. But in the case of DMX, the story takes a tragic turn unlike anything else on this list. This wasn't just a disease that attacked from the outside. This was a battle DMX fought from the inside every single day. Earl Simmons, better known as DMX, wasn't just a rapper. He was a force of nature. Between 1998 and 2000, he dropped 5 #1 albums,